souls. Welcome to the Awakening to Your Soul Self podcast. I'm Christina Larura, certified angel messenger and angel Reiki master teacher. My spiritual journey began in the spring of 2022, and my spirit team nudged me to listen to the amazing Angels and Awakening podcast. Since then, I've been learning to use my spiritual gifts and growing increasingly curious in spirituality and various healing modalities. I'm so excited for you to join me on this special journey as we dive into spirituality, healing, while exchanging our wisdom and profound insights with other remarkable healers. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, get cozy, and let's embark on the spiritual journey together. Hello, lovely souls. Welcome back to the Awakening to Your Soul Self podcast. In this week's episode, I have Georgianne McConnell with us. She's a business coach and spiritual business coach. I'm so excited for you to hear this episode. Spirit came through a lot. We talk about her business called Sacred Soul Business, the business mindset, financial workflows, money blocks, abundance, and so much more. Stay tuned for this episode. Welcome back to the Awakening to Your Soul Self podcast. I have Georgianne McConnell here. She is a mindset expert and a business mindset expert. Welcome, Georgianne.
Hello, thank you so much, Christina. Welcome. I was going to say good morning, but it's like, no, wait, it's not.
I do it
I'm
all the
delighted.
time.
Yeah, delighted to be here with you today.
Perfect. So I always like to start out with our guest by introducing themselves. Who are you? What do you do? And if you had a spiritual awakening, kind of a short bit of the story.
Okay, wonderful. So my name is Georgianne McConnell. And as you said, I am a business coach, a spiritual business coach. And what I do is I help coaches, entrepreneurs, transformational leaders improve their relationship with money, up-level their business, and make a great living doing what they love while making a greater impact in the world. My spiritual awakening, that's a great question. I think that mine was just really subtle, right? It kind of started back in my early 20s. I had a dear friend who took me to see a palm reader. I had never heard about any of that kind of stuff before, but I went curious, and it was fascinating what she said, on my palm. And that kind of started my journey into discovering more about metaphysical stuff, spirituality, different mediums, modalities is the word I meant to say. And then, and that was a long time ago, 30 plus years ago. So it's been a gradual awakening. It wasn't all of a sudden I was like this. So it was pretty fun. Now, right, I've been I'm Reiki master trained a few years ago, which I love doing that, but I only do it for myself. But I love the energy and really talking about energy and spirituality and business and money.
That's amazing. Everyone's spiritual journey is different, so I always like to find out how everybody's different. And I love how yours is just gradual, but you never really kind of hit it. You just were like, yeah, I'm just going to follow and see where it goes.
Yes, and it's fascinating, right? Because I meet some of the most amazing people like you, right? If we weren't in the spiritual kind of genre, we probably wouldn't have met,
No.
So I love it.
Yeah, that's what I love about the spiritual community is that you meet all kinds of people, from business people like you and other people who are very spiritual but don't know the business realm. So I love how
Right.
you're trying to mesh it together.
Yes,
I think
yes.
that's really important because some of us don't know what to do.
Right, absolutely. Well, and because of my background, if I can, just briefly. So
Hmm.
my background, my parents bought a grocery store when I was 14. So
Wow.
I grew up in the grocery store, in learning about business. Of course, I didn't know as much then. Now, looking back, I see how much I really learned. But learning about business, learning about money. And then when I graduated high school, I went right into banking. And so then I had, 30 plus years of banking, different positions within the bank, the call center. I was an investment advisor for 12 years. And so my whole life has been about money, in different aspects of it. And I'm one of those, because I love talking about money and I am very spiritual. And as you said, Christina, I am also business minded. It's one of my superpowers or my gifts is to blend the two, the business and the money and the spirituality, right? All of it together, because we need money to live. We really do.
Yeah.
And so many people who want to start a spiritual business or a holistic business, they may shy away from talking about the money or feeling like they're not a business person, right? So I love being able to help people along those lines.
Oh, that's beautiful. Your guides are actually saying that you're an earth angel. So that what that
Mm.
means is that you were placed on this earth for a specific purpose, and your purpose is to help people that are spiritual who are meant to be in the business world. And not everybody's an earth angel. We all have purposes, but there are specific people in this world that are meant to help other spiritual healers. And I think that's what you're really doing, and that's
Oh,
amazing.
I love that. Yes, and thank you. And I talk to my guides all the time, and so I really appreciate that confirmation, right?
Yeah.
Of who, because for me, and a lot of people might feel this way. For me, I feel like everybody understands money or finances or business finances, right, as well as I do. And it took me a long time to realize, and it was when I was a financial advisor, that I realized that people didn't know like I did, right? So that opened up my eyes to how special I am in the fact that I have both, right? The
Yeah.
spiritual and the business, and I'm really good at it. And I love talking about it. Well, thank you for that, Earth
Oh, you're
Angels.
so
Thank you,
welcome.
guides. Oh, love that.
So I think that's a perfect segue into our next topic is the sacred soul business. Can you go a little bit into that?
Yes, yes. I wanted to come up with a name that really spoke to my soul. And I love the word sacred. And so it just flowed out of me. I do a lot of automatic writing,
Oh, I
and
love automatic
I
writing.
love automatic writing. I've been doing it for years. And so that was one of the pieces that came out of my automatic writing, right? What should my name of my business be? And
Hmm.
I just started putting all kinds of different names and words and trying to feel what felt right. And Sacred Soul Business was just, that's it, right? Because it's my soul calling your soul and everybody else's, right? That wants to up level their own business, their holistic or spiritual business or whatever business modality or genre that they have. Doesn't have to necessarily be spiritual, but they have this calling to serve more people. And so that's where Sacred Soul Business came from.
Oh, that's beautiful. When you say sacred soul, there's just a beautiful energy with it. I don't know how to
Thank you.
describe it. It's just when you said it, it just was like kind of like
Yeah.
that kind of like energy. It was really beautiful. So who is the sacred soul business for? I know you said it could be for spiritual or holistic. Is that limited to that, or can there be other businesses that are interested?
Yeah, great question. I originally started it thinking that it would be solely for the holistic or the spiritual, energy healers, massage therapists, yoga, right? And then once I got into it and had a few clients, I realized that I what I offer is is beneficial to more than just the spiritual world, or the spiritual businesses. Because of who I am and how spiritually I talk, right? I'm not the right person for everybody out there. However, I don't, however, let me think of how to say it better. The ideas and the services and the tips that I offer are not solely for a spiritual business. It could be a vendor who's selling jewelry, right? It's a blending of the spiritual, the business, and the money mindset. So it's a great question, Christine. I kind of got off on that, but
That's okay.
it is really designed to help people who want a better business, want to help more people.
I think you're going to help a lot of people if you aren't already.
Thank you.
Can you go into what things you offer?
I would love to. So one of the, if I can, I'll just kind of tell a story, right?
Sure.
So everyone, no, I was thinking about Judy, but I'm not going to. So I had a client who came to me. I had talked at a psychic fair, vendor kind of psychic fair. And so there is a window of opportunity that we all have to get more clients and make more money in everybody's business. And it's by changing the words that we say to ourselves, right? So this is one of the key pieces of my business. So I had met Angela at that psychic fair, and she was a Reiki energy healer. And we were talking because she felt like she was blocking money from coming to her. She was spiritual, obviously, right? So she knew that she deserved and was worthy of having more money come to her, but she just felt like she was blocking it for some reason. So we talked for a little bit, and what we discovered is that she had that monkey mind telling her, "You're not good enough. I'll never have enough money. The people I meet don't have any money." And a big one for spiritual, holistic people is, I'm supposed to give my spiritual gifts away and not charge people, right? So you
Right.
can imagine, right, when she's in front of people doing Reiki, on them, but her subconscious is like, "Oh, they're not going to hire me. They don't have any money, blah, blah, blah," right? "I'm not good enough." That whole monkey mind thing.
Yeah.
So when we talked about it, I asked her to write down for 2 weeks, write down all of that monkey mind stuff, all that negative stuff that was in her brain, right? No, zero judgment, just write it down. Then we got together on Zoom, kind of like you and I are, and we worked through reframing them, right? We took the negative money blocks and reframed them into the positive. I call them inner voice activations, but they're
Ooh,
also
yeah.
known as affirmations, but I like the inner voice activations, right? So when we reframed those together, we used keywords like I have, I create, I'm grateful for, and I know. So a few examples. So I'm grateful for the new clients I'm meeting. I have more than enough money. My clients love to pay me money for my gifts. And I know I am here to help others live their dreams.
Ooh, beautiful.
Yeah, so that's just a few, an example of one of the pieces I work with my clients on, which is the mindset, because until we can get our subconscious to shift, we're going to continue to spin our wheels and work harder and harder and harder and just be mad at ourselves because we're not making enough money, right? Or we're not meeting the right
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, and I think no matter how spiritual you are and how long you've been doing it, your egoic mind, your monkey mind is always going to be there. You just learn how to fight it and to talk back to it, really. And I love how you said just write it all out. It's kind of like a release. You just
Mhm.
will let it all out,
That's right.
and then it's easier.
Yeah, it is easier. And it's, for me, it's not, it's less about fighting it and more about training your brain to say things differently, right? So um, we don't want to just take it out, take that phrase out, and then we've got a vacuum, or then we've got a void in our brain. So we want
Hmm.
to fill that with the positive. I am worthy, right, of the wealth I desire. I am open to receiving money, right? All of those pieces, so that when we do have that monkey mind thought, which we all do, right? I still do,
Hmm.
then it's faster and easier for me to shift that immediately, right? To I always have money, instead of, oh, right, again. So yeah.
Yeah, so basically you're just like rewiring
Mhm,
that thought.
mhm. Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Perfect. So, business mindset. What kind of mindset should any spiritual, holistic, or any business in general should have?
A great question. I am a firm believer in a growth and abundance mindset, right? And that's just my personality. I've always been like this. We learn about beliefs, money and otherwise, from a very young age. And being in the grocery store and then the banking, my mindset was that money does grow on trees, right?
Mm,
The saying is money doesn't grow on trees.
right.
But for me, because I was always around money at the store, then at the bank, right? We had hundreds of thousands of dollars always around there. So the mindset that I grew up with, or that I learned, was money does grow on trees. When I became an adult and a business owner, um, that didn't necessarily serve me well, because money does grow on trees. So then I would spend and spend and spend, right?
Mm.
And then I got into debt up to my eyebrows, right?
Oh,
So I had to work with that. And I say that just because we all have heard those phrases. The
yeah.
root of money is, or the love of money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. Don't be greedy, right? All those things. And it's the mindset that we want for our business is the mindset that we choose to have. I choose to have an abundance and a growth mindset. And there are people out there with the scarcity mindset, which is there's never enough. If I make more money than you don't get enough money, right? There's the competition, there's the um, limited supply. So for me, to answer your questions more directly, for me, the mindset that a business owner could have, would benefit by, is the abundance and the growth mindset, that there is enough out there for everyone. In
Mm,
my world, I do not have any competitors, because we're all different people. So it doesn't, by me receiving money, it doesn't negate you from getting money. That kind of makes
yeah.
sense. And then one of the other pieces, as far as a business mindset, I am a firm believer in that understanding your profit and loss, your balance sheet, the practical steps or financial reporting that you should have as a business, that's critical to understand that, so that you can have a better business. A lot of people a lot of women, I'll just talk about women specifically, is they'll let their husband or their father or their partner or someone else take care of the financial reporting or the financial reports for their business. And I believe that every woman, every business owner, entrepreneur, would benefit by understanding what does a profit and loss statement do, right? Or what does a balance sheet say? And how can I leverage understanding that to make more money, help more people, right? Not pay as much in taxes or pay more in taxes because I'm making more money, right? All of those pieces. Sorry, I kind of went on a tangent.
No,
with
that's
the,
okay.
with the money.
I mean, that's your business side of it, is that,
I
you
love
know,
it.
if you have to think of both aspects of, you have to think of everything in the business. You have to think about the money part, stuff you love to do, the stuff you don't really like to do. It's all part of it.
Right, right. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, Christine, about things that you don't like to do. Like I personally, I do not do my own taxes. I haven't for probably 20 some odd years because it's not my cup of tea. However, I understand exactly what my CPA is telling me about. Here's how much money you made for the business. Here's what your expenses were. Here's what the net income is. I understand all of that. So it's really important, you know, you don't have to do it. If you don't want to, you can pay someone who's knowledgeable about doing that. I encourage you to understand, you know, what that means for you and your business. Even if you're just starting out, right? Even if this is your first year and you might make $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 this year, start slow and learn over time how to understand what goes into the profit and loss, how to price your products and services, right? So that you could do all that fun money stuff.
Yeah, so that's actually really smart to have, you know, your CPA do your taxes, especially if you don't like that. Like sometimes I feel like some people in business want to do it all because it's their business. But there are going to be some things that you're not a fan of, or it's going to take you twice as long because you don't understand.
Exactly. Well, and one of the pieces that I talk about is, and I'm a firm believer in this and have been for a long time, is if I in my business, let's just say I earn $500 an hour. Let's just say that, right?
Yeah.
If I then am doing, excuse me, doing my taxes, and as you just said, and I don't really like them, and it takes me 5 hours to do them because I don't really like them, well, that's $2,500 that I could have earned if I paid someone else $1,000 to do my taxes, right?
Yeah.
So it's about leveraging, and this kind of goes back to my financial advising days, but it's leveraging your money and your time and finding someone who is an expert or better at it than you, you know, and recognizing that it's to your benefit to pay someone, pay that CPA to do your taxes so that you can do what you enjoy, which is talking to people, which is, you know, whatever your business is.
Yeah. So continuing with mindset, are there different mindsets depending where you are in the business? So like if you're starting out, it might be this kind of mindset. If you're growing, it's this mind, or if you're kind of like, you've got it, you got profit, is that a different mindset?
Yeah, great question. I haven't thought about it that way. So let's see, I would think that there's just a different focus, right? That for me, the mindset is like at the very beginning, your mindset or your focus would be more on you're just starting out. So how do you market? How do you identify who your target client is or your primary client or avatar? And focusing on that part, but the mindset should still be one of growth and abundance from day one, right? Because you want to be open to receiving money from the clients, the people that you're meeting. So you want to have that growth and abundance and acceptance mindset. And I think as you continue building your business, right? As you get bigger and you get more clients, and now you're paying a CPA to do your taxes, and you might have more 5 products and services, so you're increasing that. That's when your mindset can shift into more creative content, right? If you have the basic foundational of who you are, who's your primary target, what products and services do you really love to do, and what's your profit and loss, right? How do you build that, the baseline? Then as you grow, that stuff is already easy. It's easy peasy, right? You don't have to think about it as much anymore. Now your mindset is now on growth and more creation, and how else can you add more value to your clients or customers, whatever words you want to use. And as you get bigger, your mindset is just more limitless, right? Now, what can I do? Now, is it group programs? Is it a retreat? Is it, a one-on-one programs? All this opportunity now for really sitting down and visioning how you want your business to look. So that was a great question. Now I'm kind of thinking out loud with it, but I think it's the same foundation as an abundance and a growth mindset, right? So that you can be and authentic, right? Be who you are and find the people that are seeking you, and live the life that you desire to live. That was a great question.
Thank you. That's beautiful. When you were speaking, my guides were showing me almost like a timeline, but different colors for different parts of the business. So your beginning, they showed me almost like a yellow, orange, and then it would start to turn into green as you're starting to get your profit.
Yeah.
And then as you're, fully developed and you can start to manage more of your services, then it turned into a more of a blue color. So that's really validating for me that what you were saying was visually showing for me. I'm more clairvoyant and clairaudient than my other gifts. So hearing you and seeing it was very beautiful.
I love that. And thank you for sharing that too, because now I can see that visual, right? And it makes perfect sense that I was kind of linking it with the chakras, right or wrong, but it's like, oh yeah, because the foundation, and then into the heart, and then the third eye, and you're like, wow, okay, now I'm authentic, I'm doing me, I understand, and then the sky's the limit.
Yeah, and I think they purposely chose those colors because of the chakras, because you start with the red, the root, and then you build up to the crown, which is the purple.
Right.
So that's beautiful.
That was
we just
beautiful.
did that.
Oh my gosh.
I've never seen that image before, so that's amazing.
That's
I love
great.
when spirit likes to come through on these interviews and just point out things that I've never thought of or the other person hasn't thought of. So
yeah, it's like, thank you, spirit.
Yes, thank you. Of course. Okay, we're going to shift gears a little bit and go to financial workflow. So let's start off with, what is financial workflow for people that don't know what that is?
Yes, so the financial workflow is, for me anyway, it's similar to what I had brought up, right? The profit and loss. And that's like the foundation. And the profit and loss statement, for those that may not understand that term, it's basically the income you have coming in for the business, people who are buying your services, your products, your ebook, whatever, and that's your that's your income. Then it is the expenses, your internet, your computer, right? If you have people on staff, right? All of those expenses that are related to your business. And what the profit and loss does is it takes your income and then it subtracts all of your expenses. And that net result is a net income if you made money, or a net loss if you're in the red, if you lost money. And for most new businesses, when they first start out, you're going to be in the hole, right? You're going to have a loss. However, the idea is that as your flow of the business goes, you can, notice it, and then you'll make some tweaks. Maybe you'll do more, you'll launch a new product, or you'll reduce an expense, something so that you're flowing towards the positive net income. And that for me is what the workflow is, right? On the financial side. And hope that makes, I could talk for days about that kind of stuff. Hope that makes sense. Now, I did mention, I'm sorry, Christina, I did mention the balance sheet, but that's a little more advanced. So we're not going to talk about that right at the moment. But really the profit and loss report, and you can do, write it on a piece of paper. You can put it in QuickBooks or an Excel spreadsheet. And my recommendation is for people to update their information weekly and review it at least monthly, then quarterly, then semi-annually, and then annually, right? So that you can see what trends are happening. So let's say spring is a better time for you to sell a one-on-one product, right? Then you know that. So the next year you focus your marketing heavily on the one-on-one product, right? But if you don't keep track and you're just at the end of the year going, I don't know, here's my credit card statement, here's my bank statement, and you really have no focused opportunity to improve your business. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And you really simplified it. As I'm starting out my business, I opened up last May, and slowly you're getting there, but just diving into the whole business aspect is very overwhelming. And you just talked profit and loss. Like, I took some college courses, but that just really made it simple.
Thank you. Well, and that's it's one of my gifts, right? I've always been, when I was a financial advisor, I don't know if I told you this, but when I was a financial advisor, I held women's seminars, and they were titled Wine, Women, and Wealth, because we always had wine, right? And women like that. They always had women, of course. And we talked about wealth in investment side, as well as, checking accounts and savings accounts and spending plans, also known as budgets. I don't use that word. I don't like budget. It's too constraining, but I use spending plans, because we all spend our money. So we would have great conversations about, why would I get a debit card, or should I get a credit card for my business, or, right? And so that was I had so much fun doing them, because I was able to make it so simple, and in terms that the women all understood. And if they didn't, they'd ask me the question. I, could explain it. But as we've been talking about, that's one of my gifts, is being able to talk about money.
It's a beautiful gift. So speaking of money, you were talking a little bit about money blocks.
Yes.
I know you spoke a little bit about how we change our mindsets about money, but I loved when you were talking about how we deserve the money. And I think that's really powerful, because we all do deserve what we're putting out in this world, not just for our fulfillment, because that is number one for a lot of us, but it's also to be recognized for what we're doing for the collective.
Right. Absolutely. And I can, talk about it in this venue, because you and I are, in alignment, right? And your audience is in alignment with the universe, and thanking our guides and all of that piece. So for me, what I believe is that we are all here on this earth as a spiritual being, having a human experience, right? And
100%.
I think we talked about that during our last call.
Yes.
Didn't we talk about that? Isn't that Joe Dispenza that talks about that?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And so I'm a firm believer in that. I mean, it's that I know that that is who we are and what we're doing here. And so if you believe that, or even if you don't, we are on this earth and we deserve to live the life of our dreams. Abundance is all around us. One of the quotes I like to use is abundance is what you get because of who you are.
So
We
beautiful.
deserve to be who we are, right? And have the life that we choose. And so many times we're brought up that we're not worthy, that we're not deserving, or why who are you to want that big of a business? I want a huge business. I can't even tell you, right? Well, I could, but I want a huge business because I want to help a huge amount of people. And I am worthy and deserving of that because I was made and put on this earth to be worthy and deserving of all that all that I desire. I heard a while back that, and forgive me, I don't remember who said it, but if the dream is in your heart and in your soul, in your mind, you already have everything you need to achieve that.
Beautiful.
And I wouldn't dream it if I didn't already have it, right?
Yes.
And you and I mean, I know you a little bit, but I know our dreams are completely different. So why would it be that I'm worthy and deserving of having everything I want, but you're not? No, that's not how it works, you know? So as I had said on one of the inner voice activations is I am worthy of the wealth I desire, right? And that can be a affirmation that you'd say and write on your mirror in the bathroom, put it on a sticky note, put it on the mirror and just know that we are worthy and deserving of having the life that we want, which includes having all the money that we want so that we can help all the people that we want.
Absolutely. I believe God, universe, source is, gave us the platform to meet certain people. They gave us that certain purpose for a reason.
Right.
My angels always say there are many healers for different reasons. You can have many healers do the same thing, but they're meant to touch different people because one healer can't touch everybody in the world. We need a massive army of them.
Right.
And I think that's very beautiful. It's just like the angels, there's hundreds of thousands of, probably billions of them, because they're helping us being on this earth. And I always call it earth school. So
I
we're
love that.
spiritual beings from above experiencing earth school in the human body.
I love that. Yep. I am so in agreement with you, Christina, and because everybody has, even like the angels, right? There's billions of them, but they're all different. Just like us, we're
Yes,
all different. You could put me right next to another spiritual business coach who likes to talk about money and mindset, but we're still going to be different because we're different personalities, different
absolutely.
experiences, So yeah, I love that. I love the Earth School because we are here. Yeah, I like it.
We're learning.
We're learning. And that's why we're here. We're here to experience. We're here to learn and help others. Yeah.
Exactly, absolutely. So besides of the
Mm.
inner voice affirmations, are there other ways that we can remove these money blocks?
Yes, I would love to talk about that. So one of the other pieces that I go deeply in with my clients, which we'll just touch upon here, is for me, money is a energy. right? It's a tool that we use. It's like electricity. It's like the ocean, right? It ebbs and flows. Like the electricity, it's always there when you flip the switch. So it's a energy. And if you think about money as the energy, and let's say that um, your let's see, a good friend of yours is sitting next to you, and we'll just call them money, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there, it's the same. It's the energy. It's just this energy as a person. So if you write a letter to money as if it was a person, it will be amazing what comes out of your brain. So that's what I encourage people to do. And this kind of goes along with our automatic writing that we had talked about. So if you write a letter to money, and it could be something like, I love you and I'm scared of you. It would be more amazing to have more of you, but I feel weird admitting that, right? I say that, you're never around when I need you, and why can't I have more of you? And if you think about those words, right, or if you're writing it down, and if you think about if you were saying those words to a good friend that's sitting here next to you, right, how would that person feel? You're not there when I need you. I never have enough of you. I'm afraid of you, right? They wouldn't feel very good. Well, money as an energy doesn't feel very good either when you say those types of things to them. But most people don't think of that. They're just, oh, right, I never have enough, or why did my car break down? And oh my God, they're going to charge me so much to put a new tire on my car that I had a few weeks ago, right? But so if you look at money as a person, and you write a letter to them and really get it out, be honest, because you're the only one who's going to see that letter, then that gives you the opportunity to reframe your relationship with money. And instead of saying you're never around when I need you, really think about how grateful you are that you have the money you have, that you have a roof over your head, money in the bank, even if it's only $1, or, groceries, whatever the pieces are. But for me, it gives a great insight into what you really think about money. So now you're aware of it, you can reframe it and choose how you want to feel about money. So writing a letter to money as if it were a person. That's a key tip right there.
That's amazing. I've never thought about writing to money before.
Mhm.
And for those of you that don't know what automatic writing is, you basically get into a high vibrational oneness state, and you just write anything that you're seeing, feeling, thinking about, and just write as you go. Don't try to pay attention to what you write, because you kind of ruin the flow. And then when you're done, read back what you wrote. It's amazing what spirit will bring through the writing.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
agree?
I absolutely agree. And there's quite often times when I sit down to do my automatic writing and nothing comes. So then I just say, I'm sitting here waiting. I don't know what I'm thinking about. And it just will flow, right? Um, Also, sometimes I use it if I'm struggling with like what to name my business, right? Or should I should I attend this event, right? I just use that because it gets me out of my mind, right? It gets me out of my
Yes.
head. It allows me to sink and ground in more into me and my higher self, as you said, my oneness. And then I open up and it allows the flow. So yes, I love
Yeah, I love
automatic
that you
writing.
actually brought that up. A few weeks ago, I was doing an automatic writing session, and my spirit guides were like, this is what you have to do, automatic writing, because that's the only way that your egoic, your monkey brain isn't going to get in the way.
Mhm.
For me, I find sometimes meditation, I don't get anything coming through because I have the monkey brain in the way. So with the automatic writing, I'm just like, all right, I'm going to write whatever I'm seeing,
Yep,
feeling. And sometimes I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes for me, I can't write fast enough. So then I
exactly.
start abbreviating and I write
Yeah.
very messily cursive because
Mm-hmm.
it takes too long to print,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yep.
know? And
Yep.
sometimes you don't get anything, and that's perfectly okay. You just say,
Perfectly.
all right, guys, I'm gonna come back in another time.
Yep. Love you. Thanks for
Love
being
you,
here.
goodbye.
Right? Yep. Exactly. I am right there with you. And I think when I first started, I did try to, as a professional business writer, I did try to edit and spelling, and then, but now I don't, right? And I'm with you. Sometimes my writing is so not mine, right? It's
Yes.
illegible. I don't know what it really says until, like you said, until I'm done. And then I kind of read back. And a tip I also heard was to read it back aloud instead of just
Oh.
silently. Read it out loud, and then, because then it's just a different feel, right? So try that. I would encourage you,
Ooh,
Christina, to try that. And
I'm gonna have to try that.
yeah, and see
Um,
how you feel, because I'm
yeah.
sure you have experienced like I have, that sometimes my guides are taking over my pen, right? And
Yes.
they're saying things that I consciously have no idea. It's like, what is going on? So when I'm done and then I'm reading it out loud, I'm hearing it, I'm saying it, and it is able to be more in my heart, right? By
Mm,
reading it out loud.
that's beautiful. I'm gonna have to try that with my
Yeah,
next automatic writing session.
yeah,
And you
try
can go
that.
back to your old automatic writing sessions. I do that every once in a
Mhm.
while. I have a notebook right on my bedside and I write in it when I feel called. Sometimes I don't always feel called, especially when life is very busy.
Right.
And I go back and I just start at the beginning of the notebook and read a few. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
look at all that
Isn't
information that's right in front of me. And I just didn't see it.
yeah, isn't it amazing? Yeah, I don't know if you can see in my bookcase on the very bottom,
Yeah.
but I have like 10 um, on the left-hand side, I have like 10 of just the regular white writing pads. I have about 10 of them from,
Wow.
because I write a lot, right, over the last few years. And so, yeah, I keep all of them. And it's fascinating to go back and just flip up to a page and go, wow, I wrote that. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
amazing.
That's
It is
truly
amazing.
amazing. I love how Spirit just took us on a little tangent over there,
Yes,
but
thank you.
you know, it is. I love how when they do that.
Yeah.
So let's go to abundance. I know you were talking about it earlier. I feel like sometimes in the spiritual community, abundance is such a general term. And sometimes it feels very big because it's abundance. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
I'd love for you to go just a little bit into that. And then if you have any spiritual clients, examples that you
Mm.
could share without, reaching confidentiality, that would be great.
Yes, absolutely. Well, abundance, oh my gosh. So it is big and we deserve all of it, right? So for me, abundance is everything, right? I have a gratitude quote that I write in my gratitude journal. I don't write every day. Um, but the abundance can be money, time, energy, love, happiness, bliss, adventure, right? All of these pieces. And it's really about, for me, it's about opening your heart and your soul
Ooh, the chills.
yes, right then, to allow all of the abundance that is out there waiting for you,
Mm-hmm.
from your guides, from the clients that are waiting to find you. Um, I don't know what else to say after that little
No,
chill. Oh my
that was
gosh.
that was beautiful. And um I feel like every word has energy. So
Hmm.
when we were just talking about abundance, I felt this very expansive energy. When you were
Yeah.
talking about money, which I've never really felt energy towards money. I felt like it just wanted to be your friend energy.
Mhm.
It's a friendly energy. It wants to play.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
so any spiritual client examples? Because I
Yes.
think anybody that's listening, like myself, just starting out a business, I'd love to hear some examples.
Yeah. So when I talk about money, and as we've been talking about money blocks and mindset, so the example I'm going to use is how I helped a former client, we'll call her Judy,
Okay.
shift her mindset from scarcity to abundance when it comes to money. And it was a very simple yet effective technique. So I encourage you and your listeners to try this out. So she was one that had that monkey mind, right? I never have money. She would round up in her check register so that she never had to keep track. She's like, that way I know I always have money. But the fear of looking at her money was what was coming, what
Hmm.
was happening, right? Underneath all of that bravado was she was afraid to look at her money. So we worked through the practical as far as her check register, former banker, right? So I know how to write it in a check register. So I helped her on that. But the mindset was more important. So what I had her do is I had her take, I should have a dollar, have her take a dollar bill. Could be a 1, a 5, a 10, doesn't matter what the denomination was. But I had her take that dollar bill and put it in her wallet and put it separate from all of her other money. And if you're one of those people, you and your audience, who doesn't keep any cash on hand, please keep cash on hand, even if it's
Yes.
$5 or a $20 bill, right? So anyway, sorry, a little tangent on that one. So she kept that dollar bill in her wallet, and I advised her or encouraged her every three or four or 5 times a day, open her wallet, look at the dollar bill, touch it, and say out loud or in her mind, I always have money. I always
Hmm.
have money. Now the monkey mind's going to go, yeah, but it's only $1, right? Or $5 or $10. But keep doing it. And so for her, she kept doing it. And pretty soon her monkey mind stopped saying that. She eventually added to her, I call it money friends. So added to her money friends of 1, a 5, a 10, a 20. And by the end of a 30-day period, she no longer had that automatic, I never have money. It was automatic, I always have money. And it's just a simple shift, but it's empowering to to have that mindset shift. And for Judy, she had a hypnotherapy business. She's retired
Uh-huh.
now. But for her, it opened her up to accepting and allowing more abundance, more money and clients to come into her world because she was no longer afraid of the money and hiding
Hmm.
it.
That's amazing. That's like really facing that
Yeah.
scarcity, that almost that fear of not having money
Mm-hmm.
every day, multiple times a day.
Right.
It's just
Right.
like positive
Mm-hmm.
affirmations. I have a few right on my dresser and I look at them and I say them out loud every day.
Yep.
Eventually, it's just going to happen. And you're like, all right, I have new affirmations now.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So add another one to I'm worthy and deserving of all the abundance the universe wants to provide to me, right? Or words to that effect that
Yes.
just came out. And because you know, right, that your mind is amazing and it will take that as truth. And then, yeah, it'll be time to go to the next one. My business makes $100,000 or a million or whatever it is. Sorry, I'm doing this whole pulling in. I learned that from a body
Yeah, pulling
language
in the
coach, right?
energy.
Pulling in the energy. So it's just an automatic thing for me. Um, and so, yeah, adding that to your affirmations and well, Christina, right, how powerful they are, and we want to make sure we're saying them in, positive and current tense and
Yes.
full of energy.
I'm going to add that to my affirmation wall
Love
this
it.
afternoon.
Love it.
So let's wrap it up, Georgianne, with where can people find you? Social media, your website, and what offerings you offer.
Great. Thank you so much. So I do have a website. It's georgiannemcconnell.com. I am on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, all my full name. And fortunately, I'm like the only one out there, the only Georgianne McConnell out there. So it makes it pretty simple to find me. My offerings, as far as that, on my website, I do have a workbook that's, free. That is, gosh, now my mind just went blank as to what it's called. It is Achieving Unlocking Prosperity, and it talks a little bit about the affirmations or the inner voice activations. It talks about the mindset, and then it does talk a little bit about the profit and loss. So you kind of get a little bit of all three of them, but that's available on my website. And
Perfect.
as far as an offering, what I did last month is I opened up a few one-on-one slots for 90 days or 12 weeks, going through all of those pieces that we talked about, starting with the mindset and then releasing the money blocks, also a visioning for how you want your business to be in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, right? We worked through all of that. The pricing, which we didn't really talk about here, which is fine, but how your profit pyramid, as I call it, is how many products and services you offer and different price points. We look at all that because it's about money. And going through in greater detail the profit and loss, because truly, right, I want people to really feel comfortable with money, right? And as we said at the very beginning, a lot of people, one of my friends who's an energy healer is too, she said, but I'm not a business person. But you can be, right? If you learned how to ride a bike, learned how to drive a car, opened your own business, for goodness sake, you can learn how to do the financial part of it. And so that whole offering is what I'm doing now. I do have a couple of online courses on my website, which is of course available for people to purchase too. And I'm really focusing right now on my one-to-one program. I love helping individual business owners. Yeah, I love that.
That's amazing. Your guides actually want you to talk about the pricing. So if you have a few more minutes, let's just bring that in and then we'll wrap that up.
Okay, I would love to. Oh my gosh. So let's see. Here's I don't know if you can really see it, but here's my
Yes.
profit pyramid. I'm working on it, which is why it's right here at my desk. But the profit pyramid for all businesses, right? But let's just talk about the spiritual, holistic entrepreneurs that we have in front of us now.
Yeah.
But when you look at a pyramid, so it's just a big triangle, the very bottom of it is your entry level products or services. Could be an online course, it could be a meditation, but it's typically a smaller price point. $50, $100, $200, whatever, right? Which is great when you're just getting started. Kind of goes back to the mindset of as we grow on our coaching or in our business. But then the next level is a higher level. It's typically more expensive or higher price point. It's not really expense is a relative term. So it's a higher price point. And this is what gives you the opportunity to provide more value to the people who already know and love you, right? Because they already buy your entry level. Now they want to know more. How do I meet with you more often? Is it group coaching? Is it more in detail online course, but it's a higher price point. And then you have the top of the pyramid, which is typically your one-to-one coaching, or if you do retreats or face-to-face events, anything like that. So
Okay.
as a business owner, when you're starting out, you can focus just on the entry level, which is fine, but eventually we want to get you into the second tier and the third tier, and you can even do a fourth little side tier. And that's one of the pieces that I help my business owners with, because I see the value and I want to pull out the value from you to give to your clients, right?
Mm,
While you're helping yourself. Right? It's kind of, and I don't remember if we talked about this, but if you picture a big circle, right? You have the more
yep.
people you help, the more money you make. The more money you make, the more people you help. So it's
Yes.
really about sharing your message more out there with the world, and doing it in a structured way that gives you more abundance.
That's a really beautiful visual way to see it. Starting out the entry level, the foundation, the root chakra, and then you're
Mhm.
going to go up to the middle, and then you keep going up. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And now that you said that, right, what popped in my head is the colors that you had talked about,
Yes.
right? Because I'm still creating this, I have it all in my brain, but I'm still creating the visual and using those colors. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a beautiful way to show it,
Uh-huh.
is
Yep.
because a lot of us are thinking of the chakras or just
Mhm.
know about the chakras. So when you do that visual, I really should do that.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I
Yeah.
love that. And going into the green, right? Because the heart chakra is the green, right? Which is the second level of when
Yes.
now you're giving more of you, right? More
Yes.
authentically you. Um, and yes, oh, I love that. Oh, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use
Yay!
those colors. Yay! Thank you, spirits.
Well, thank you, Georgianne. It was very nice to have this conversation. I hope a lot of people benefit from it.
Thanks, Christina. Oh my gosh,
Oh, you're so welcome.
I so enjoyed talking with you, and if I can answer any questions that people might have, right, if they want to talk about the profit and loss or anything, feel
Yeah,
free to shoot me an email or a message on any one of my socials, and happy to talk with you offline, right?
perfect, perfect. So if you are interested, she's got those one-on-ones opened for 12 weeks, did you say?
Yeah, it's a 12-week program. Yeah.
So if you're interested, go ahead and book that with her. Hello, lovely souls. Thank you for listening to this week's episode with Georgianne McConnell, the Sacred Soul business owner and founder. We talked about business mindsets, financial workflows, money blocks, abundance, and some examples of her spiritual clients that she helps. If you're interested in this, please follow Georgianne McConnell in the show notes below. Check out her website and her 12-week program. Please leave a review, share it with all your friends and family. I really hope this podcast will reach as many people as possible. I'm going to have many more healers on the podcast. I'm also going to do a little teachings here and there of what I've learned from my spirit team. Thank you so much, friends. Have a wonderful, blessed day. See you next Monday.